Everybody, I'm Juan Gonzalez. Today I'm going to do an interesting topic for my History 1301 course. Today I'm going to be analyzing a declaration from South Carolina called the Declaration of Immediate Causes. It was announced in April 26 in 1852. To give a little bit of context, this was like during like the very start of the Civil War, where Abraham Lincoln was barely getting his presidency, and there were like a lot of Southern slave states that told themselves, I don't want to be a part of this nation anymore. If they're gonna destroy my main commodity, was back then slavery. Um, to them, like those times, like slaves were just property, and that is why I'm here to see what their declaration, what their perspection was about, to see their side of the story. Okay, so I'm going to paraphrase what the document was talking about. In the first part, they gave a little bit of historical context. They talked about how this union, it was first formed by self-governance under prevalence of tyrannical rule, under oppression. So that's why the South Carolina chose to secede, because they felt that it was an urgency that they needed to get away from a union that they thought that they're going to destroy their source of economy. From their words, the constituted compact has been deliberately broken and disregarded by the non-slaving states, and the consequences follows that South Carolina is released from her obligation. In other words, you broke the rule that you won't be a tyrannical nation, so I'm cutting ties with you. And this had like a side effect, of other slave states joining with them, to join against like this tyrannical nation that's going to take away my source of commodity, which was their slaves back then. So like going forward with what the document was saying, South Carolina, they portrayed themselves as a victim. They were claiming that the ends for which the Constitution was framed have been defeated, and the government itself have been made destructive of them. This language, it sounds like they're living in a destroyed nation, divided against themselves, which was kind of, yeah, that was what was happening at that time. Um, in and like the language is like, they were a lot saying that they had the right of property of slaves. They had a right to property of slaves, but in my opinion, it's kind of ironic because they want to have liberty but with slaves in it. It's a bit of a loophole in my opinion. Okay, so like my understanding of this, it shows like how deeply connected like slavery was back then, how woven like it would go with their politics and everything. It it goes to show like how far they would go as to separate themselves from a nation to secede rather than to just give up their slaves. In short, like in conclusion, this declaration reveals like how they believe the Union betrayed them, and they saw slavery as worth defending at all costs, which was really interesting as to see their perspective of this. Okay, so thank you for listening and have a nice day.